What's up, gang? Welcome to But What Do I Know with Joe. Yes, I'm Joe. If you're new here, welcome in, and if not, welcome back. Thanks for joining me as we are going to recap, relive, and otherwise get into Phish's performance at Fenway Park, Boston, Massachusetts. This is Saturday, August 1st. So Fenway Park, this is Phish's 5th time to play there. So not too many to choose from. It's also the last show prior to of summer tour, at least leading up to Dick's when they reconvene there in about a month. So somewhat of a big deal. And lastly, I think this is noteworthy is it's coming on the tail end of last night. Tonight's night 2. Night 1 was a scorcher. So curious to see how they stack up. What say we talk about it? So I've taken the liberty of writing the set list out over here, as has been the case. Lots to talk about, lots to discuss, and this will help. So set number 1, we get started right out of the gate with My Friend, My Friend. Yeah, okay. So yeah, love this song, My Friend, My Friend. In the opening spot, it's interesting, thinking of something that's going to really kickstart the shit out of everybody and launch. But who am I to say, right? And I figured let's trust the process and see. Again, it's a great song all around. They jam through it. It's awesome. It is a cool start regardless, and gets through the tune and really doesn't even have a chance to get started into any sort of jam or groove or whatever, and they roll right into the first of many segues that are just smooth as silk, right into Tweezer. So second song in, Tweezer. Okay, well there you go. My Friend was effectively an intro, a warm-up tune, so which is perfectly fine. If you're going to cut it off, I suppose Tweezer's a pretty good one to cut it off for. So yes, they roll right into Tweezer, and there we go. Trust the process. Remember that. This was pretty cool. Not a slow grinding or anything. Tweezer that's decently fast paced. It it was cruising right along. It was ripping. This was they dropped right into it. They rolled right into it, I should say, from My Friend, My Friend. There was no stop, no proper intro, so to speak. They did the last one as well, which, hey, doesn't bother me. They roll right into it, and there they are. You're in Tweezer. So that's what happened tonight. They got through the tune and started jamming. They just ripped it up, and for quite a bit. And it sort of plateaued at this just beautiful jam. It ebbed and flowed throughout and covered a decent bit of ground. Wasn't that long. I think it was around 13 minutes or so, thereabouts. But they covered a good bit of ground, and second song in, it was pretty sweet. This culminated Trace soloing and Fishman just going to town on the toms and just sort of tribal. It was really incredible, a phenomenal performance. Great way to really get things started. This 1-2 punch. This beautifully slid, just as if it were written this way, right into Sigma Oasis. So again with the segue, it dropped right into that song as if it were, again, written this way. So Sigma Oasis, great tune. This is turning out to be a really nice set. Kind of wondering at that time, will we see more Tweezer? And stay tuned, right? Sigma Oasis, I love this song. Great tune. It typically goes to really cool places, and I like to go see those places. This was, I don't think any different. Got out of the tune, a great jam ensued. It's a touch of dark, it ebbed and flowed back to the light. It as oftentimes is the case, groove to groove, it just flowed really, really effortlessly. This was pretty cool in that they settled into one of these grooves, and Trey opted at that point to jump on the mini drum kit, which I sure hope this is a permanent fixture. This is each time he does it, some cool shit goes down, and so anyhow, it's my assessment. Anyhow, he got on the drums, and this kick-ass jam came up. Page again stepping forward to take the reins and sort of lead the band. Trey and Fishman going off on the percussion, and Mike just holding it down. It just incredibly cool. Yeah, this was a lot of fun and very, very cool to see it all unfold with the drum kit and everything. So this, as per usual, he gets back on the guitar, and then this just flows effortlessly right back into Tweezer. So it's going to be that kind of party, perhaps. So we're going back and forth. They jump back into it just for a bit and just rip it up. And it's just another portion of Tweezer. It wasn't exactly what they were playing before, and certainly was moved in a different direction. And which, yeah, just evolving. And they rip it up for a little while, like, I don't know, like 3 minutes or something. And then that just flows very, just deliberately, it kind of abruptly, right into Chalk Dust Torture. This, they just dropped right in, and there you are. Chalk Dust Torture, you're jamming. And so, yeah, this is shaping up to be a really, really nice set all around. Chalk Dust, this gets cooking right away. They go through the tune, and they're rocking. It's the music just flowed with this one, and the grooves just kept this sort of changing and ebbing and flowing, and just really, really cool stuff. Not really that long. It was less than 10 minutes, and so, you know, they stuck a lot of stuff in a small period of time, but it changed grooves, changed keys. It was just sort of ebbing and flowing, evolving, and it at one point literally just instantly changes into Stash. And again, this is one to be studied, just as smooth as could be, as if you'd been there the whole time. And yeah, they teed it up with a key change, then just dropped right into it, and they're playing it. And Trey had the most ridiculous grin on his face. He was grinning at Mike, who didn't seem to have any affect whatsoever. But yeah, and they should be proud of themselves. That was a master class in segueism. That's the stupid segue into Stash, and then they're rolling. Stash was cool. It got through the tune. The jam brightened up relatively quickly, but you know, they jammed on that for a little while, and then sort of went back into the Stash jam. But interestingly, they the whole time had something sort of going in the background. I felt they were just itching to move towards, and it's not too much of a surprise. They kept with the Stash jam as long as they could, and sort of teasing at it, and then just gave in and never went back and finished Stash, and just went right back into Tweezer. And so just really cool. Now this was very brief, just a minute or so, and you know, cool to come out of that Stash and be like, man, yeah, fuck yeah, right back into Tweezer. But more importantly, it basically just teed up, and they immediately plunked right into Sand. And so this was like, okay, well, that's obviously going to be your set closer, or I would expect be your set closer. And set closer, it was. This was just incredible. They go through Sand, darker feel anyway, but it just, once they hit the jam, it launched. This was just a heavy duty, launched and continued, just kept on going. It wouldn't stop, can't stop, won't stop. It was full scale assault, forward march. The jam just kept building, and it came to this ridiculous peak, just this massive peak. I mean, an epic, just huge way to round out and finish this first set here at Fenway. So that's it for the first set. My friend, down to Sand. First sets. That is a solid set under any circumstances at any given time. This is just phenomenal, really. An incredible start. Let's be honest, Tweezer Fest in your first set, really, and then interspersed is all this, the Sigma, the Chalk Dust Stash, you know, ended with the Sand. Incredibly powerful, strong start all the way around. Phenomenal set. So there we go. Set 1 in the books, taking a break, coming back with set number 2. And one more time, off to the races, strong start right out of the gate with Mike's song. This is just incredibly cool and strong way to start any set. This was really sick. They just ripped it up, took no prisoners and just raged on it. Worked it up into a crazy frenzy, and yeah, it just killed it. Strong way, great way to start the set. So Mike's song comes to a close, and they choose Ruby Waves. That gets the call. I don't have a problem with this. I like Ruby Waves. The ones I've seen, the ones I've heard, they all go somewhere cool, somewhere I want to go. And this honestly did not disappoint. Once it got through the song, the jam just took off to outer space and back again. It ebbed, it flowed, it went to a lot of cool places. It concentrated then and sort of opened up, got bright, beautiful. There were a number of jams tonight like this. And it's then reached this industrial sort of space jam part, just went everywhere. I mean, covered tons of ground. And after that Mike song, the Ruby Waves was around 18 minutes or so. And I know I heard Tweezer teases in there. They never committed, but I know they were there. And so Ruby Waves, this then is jamming. It just literally drops right into No Man and No Man's Land. Yet another, ridiculously smooth segue, sort of one of the themes of the evening. No Man, and I like this song as well. Everyone I've seen and so many of the ones I've heard have gone to really cool places. For the most part, there are a few that stick close to home, but I was optimistic about this one. And man, I think it paid off. They got through the tune. The jam just evolved. It stayed funky as that song is anyway, but then started to ebb and flow and change it up. It got crazy. It got happy. There were all sorts of different tones, different sounds and jams. Really cool. And it's really cool because they reached another point of sort of where they're jamming and Trey's comfortable with it, and he jumps on the drum set again. And then this got really sick. Paige got on the clavinet. He is throwing down all sorts of shit on that. Trey's just going to town. It's really cool. Again, adding such a great dynamic. This I just felt this wasn't incredibly long either. It was less than 15 minutes. But all this together, it was quite a bit. But also important then, the No Men just literally, as has been the case, flowed as it were written this way, right into Light. And so there we go, Light it is. And this was really cool. This whole stretch was a lot of fun, but Light was exceptionally cool. Smooth grooves and choice licks, I would say, right out of the gate. They get through the song and they're just, Trey's just throwing it down. I am certain there was a mango song like Tease, a mango jam, if you will, that for a little bit, I just know that was what was going on. Someone could confirm that, but incredibly cool. And that was early on, and they're just having a blast and exploring with the tune. But it just kept on jamming, kept on evolving and amping up, and then they built it up to this crazy peak, just ridiculous. Worked it up. It was like 16 minutes or so, and so this was quite a bit of jamming in this second set thus far. Worked it up to this crazy peak. Afterwards, there was a woo section for those who are into that shit, and but otherwise, so sick, incredibly cool, and of course, as is expected, it flowed seamlessly, flawlessly, if you will, into Weekapaug Groove. So there we go. There's your bookend for Weekapaug, Mike's song to Weekapaug. Weekapaug was actually pretty concise tonight, and I don't know if they just weren't feeling it. It was cool. They really, blasted out there. It was a choice solo and everything, but nothing where it was as aggressive, and everything. I think it was like 5 minutes. It was pretty tight and concise. Again, what a problem to me, but a lot of fun regardless. And that's the only really time that they stopped playing. Everything else had flowed, seamlessly, and they didn't stop for long. And they just flowed right into Ghost. So here we are in Ghost, and I was thinking this would certainly close out the second set, excuse me. This one was really cool. As of late, it's you kind of know where it's going. It's always a little bit different, but they work it up into a frenzy, into a crazy peak or whatever. Tonight was I'm not saying it's different from that, but man, they were so patient. This was over 16 minutes. It was it seemed like they let it develop a little bit more than perhaps they normally do, which I really appreciated. Slowly, but very damn surely, they built this shit up into a ridiculous madness. I mean, so patient and so methodical, and towards the end, it's like a blender. Like you're in there and wondering, man, how are we going to get out of this? And it's insanity. And they built it up so much. Again, came to a massive crescendo, and it was awesome. Really cool way. And again, I thought to close the set and the show, but no, they finished that, and immediately you can hear Trey going, they're right into Possum. And it's like, all right, well, Possum it is. So they tacked that on there, and listen, Possum was Possum. It was super cool. They ripped it up. It's a lot of fun. Worked it up into a frenzy as well. It was like 8 minutes or something. So I guess just because. So that brings the second set to a close. Set number 2 in the books. You got Mike's song to Possum. You got your Mike's groove in there, and everything in the middle. Incredible stuff through and through. This is a phenomenal set. And after the first one, wow. So we pause and come back. We've got encores to go, starting off with Velvet Sea, Waiting in the Velvet Sea. I like this tune. I've always liked it since way back in the day, since they started playing it, and seeing it at Coventry as well was crazy. It's always got a soft spot in my heart for this. So, hadn't seen it being played recently, to the best of my knowledge, and it was nice to see. This one was fairly concise too. They didn't try to solo it out or anything. Just chill. It was nice. I assumed it was a Velvet Sea Tweezer Reprise situation and was content with that. But they had other ideas. A bit of a sandwich, a zero sandwich in here. And listen, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's just I'm not a huge fan of this tune. It's cool. It's when I'm there, I'll scream and shout. It's always fun. It's not my jam. And this one was, seen a few that were, and heard a few that were jammed out. That's cool. This one was rocking, but they didn't explore with it at all. So anyhow, it was relatively concise and came to a close. The best thing about it is that we were pretty sure that what was coming next was going to be Tweezer, and that's what we got. So that put a bow on everything very neatly. And yes, thankfully finished strong with Tweezer Reprise. So there's your show. My friend through Sand. You've got Mike's song through Possum, and then your encores. This is a phenomenal show all the way around. Another Tweezer fest in the first set this time. And I think I mentioned in Ruby Waves, but there were a couple of times where in the second set where they teased on Tweezer, I felt, and were pushing towards it, but never committed. So this was incredible, phenomenal playing, and an incredibly strong way to bring these two shows to a close, and sort of this section, if you will, of the summer tour to a close before they reconvene at Dick's. This show has tremendous replay value. I mean, through and through. This entire first set, you wouldn't want to stop it or break it up. There'd be no point. It'd be sacrilege, right? And then this, in particular, the Ruby Waves No Man Light, is just incredible stuff. And that Ghost, man, don't sleep on that. So that is the show, Phish's performance and my assessments. Fenway Park, August 1st. But what do I know? And again, that's it for now. They will be back in about a month, and I'm actually headed to those shows, and so we'll be assessing things from a slightly different perspective. And I suppose we'll see how that turns out now, won't we? Our journey here is ended. Until next time.